Good morning, viewers. Welcome to League 9. We're doing something a little different. I have some time this morning, so we're gonna, do a recording in the morning. This hand has a little bit of acceleration and lets me slam down a pretty quick plating or Ravager, so I'm gonna keep it. It is a bit fragile to disruption, though. Be it the removal of Memnite or removal of something from my hand, which is unfortunate. Razor Verge Thicket. Okay. That is a little less than ideal, especially with this hand. Flyer makes things better. So I could play an equip plating, but that only equips it. If I get down Signal Pest, I can play Signal Pest and plating, which I think is fine. And I actually think chipping in for one with the Memnite is free, because more than likely they will have an enchantment next turn. And I need that damage in sooner rather than later. If they don't have Spider Umbra, then we're going to be okay. Well, maybe okay. If they do have Spider Umbra, we have a problem. Okay, ground attacks are bad now, though we kind of figured that. Oh wait, no, vigilance. Okay. Ground attacks are fine, provided they don't have another... Okay. So we've got the Ravager. And then we could play... sorry, I gotta figure out how to get rid of that. So for 2 mana we play the second one, and then we have no big attacks. So rather than that, go like this. I guess they could have Path Up. That would be unfortunate. If they Path, I will eat it to the Ravager. And consider, in response, they're going to Path Arcbound Ravager. I'm gonna sacrifice itself in response and put it on the Signal Pest. I don't think there's any reason to make it to eat any others, because I would much rather have the plating doing business. I think that might have been a mistake on their part. Unless they have another path. Then they might not care. We're still not out of the woods, though. If we get down the Ravager, that puts Signal Pest to 8 damage, and Memnite to another 2, so that's lethal if they swing with the Scout. But now it's not, because they have Dryad Arbor. And Rancor. Ooh, boy. Okay, well they have a ground blocker, which makes this bad. Perhaps I should have eaten Memnite. I can still Blink Moth Nexus. Okay, so play Blink Moth, play Ravager, activate Blink Moth. If we go down to, so eat itself, that's 2 counters. But we're also going down 2 artifacts, so it's still a net loss. Or actually it's inconsequential. And I die next turn. Well, no, I don't die next turn. Well, actually, I'm pretty much guaranteed to die next turn because of trample. Yeah, I think that Dryad Arbor was perfect for them. I can still block with a big Ravager, big-ish, to make me not die. But I don't think I can win this because I don't have an extra attacker. Well, not win this, win this turn, rather. Because anything I eat with Ravager makes cranial plating smaller. If I had 2 Ravagers, then I think that would be just enough to outgain. I'm pretty sure there's no way that because if I have Ravager at 1/1, and I eat Memnite, puts him to a 2/2, he becomes an 8/2. And then if I eat Ravager to itself, he becomes a 7/2, and then the counters put him to a 9/2. And it's the same concept with any of these others. So I just have to attack with Signal Pest. I would have forced the block if I attacked with Memnite, but if I don't, then I have more blocking fuel, which I think is also important. Galvanic Blast would have been wonderful there. So now I just have to hope to not die. The strategy for that will be to... Oh, sweet. Alright, they must have seen that I could block enough. Okay. Alright, so Bogles. Blood Moon, Whip Flare, Thoughtseize. Yeah. To lock them out of mana, hopefully. Whip Flare to get their guys. Thoughtseize to get the most important enchantments. So these are too slow. And then Vault Scourge can't really outrace them. And Blast is not that good. Blast is not that good. We'll leave 1. One to target the random dudes that they have. Yeah. So then, in order to succeed post-sideboard, I think sometimes they have Path. Or no, sorry. Sometimes they have stony. They might board in more paths. So really we just have to get lucky with what threats we are able to land. And if we see any of our sideboard. If we see a fast Blood Moon, that's in our favor. As long as they don't have any basics. Because that can completely lock them out. It's happened. Or we just see all these cards and no mana sources. Okay. Well. Alright. Still a Blood Moon. With not much in the way of other threats. But Blood Moon can completely lock them out. So I'm going to keep. Another 1-drop. Does increase our threats, but does not make our laying down of the Blood Moon any faster. So I think I'm going to bottom this in hopes that I can get that out a little faster. That is a 0-drop that doesn't actually help our case. Funnily enough. If we get an Opal next turn, it's a different story. Okay. Stony. Yeah. Probably should have expected that. And now Drum. Awesome. Thanks, deck. Thanks, deck. I should have just played the other Drum. Whoops. Kind of miffed at the turn 2 Stony that everyone always has. Spider Umbra. Yeah, there's no way we can win this. Well, that was fun. This is fine. I don't have any sideboards, but I can get out pretty fast. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, which will be good. Hopefully they have something influential that I can get out. Or do I wait for a turn 2? Turn 2, I've got 2 lands. I'll have 2, so 3. Playing it now isn't any different because I'm not able to get these out any faster. Unless I get something that requires another mana. I guess I'll do it now. Yeah, they didn't even keep. So the only threat... No, they have Dryad Arbor. But this is a huge, huge liability. So I'm going to take that. Them having Griff's Boon to be able to fly is a problem. But there isn't much. They would just get it back at 4 mana anyway. And I'm going to get Overseer out. Another reason that, excuse me, that I went for the Spirit Dancer is that can get them way ahead and draw them other answers and threats. If they don't play Griff's Boon, then we can have a pretty fast... well, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Ugh. Of course. Because why wouldn't we draw that right now? Well, I was gonna say, if they didn't play Griff Spoon, we could have a pretty fast Inkmoth Nexus kill. But, without Overseer, we might be fresh out of luck as far as that goes. If only that welding jar had come down last turn. Could have saved Overseer. Wait. Stop that. So, Razor Verge Thicket, Dryad Arbor. Yeah, they have a pretty good... They're in a pretty good position. We're in a pretty bad one. I end up having to go all in on Inkmoth pretty soon here, and that's dangerous due to path. Oh, kind of wish we'd been able to put up a better fight in the last game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can attack for 5 poison. If we get super lucky and pull plating, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not any better. Wow, plating. Okay. So I can play it and activate Nexus, and that's it. But if they have any sort of answer next turn, let's see, Ethereal Armor. So we know their hand. All they have to do is Griff Spoon. They have First Strike. Well, I've got Welding Jar, I guess. I don't think there's any reason to go hardcore on sacrificing permanents to get in, because I only get in for, at maximum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Instead of the 5 I had calculated, which is not lethal. So it's next turn that I gotta go all in. The worst part is with Welding Jar, well, actually with them having First Strike. First Strike is the problem. Singleton Galvanic Blast would save us. That's about it. Well, unless they put 2 enchantments on Dryad Arbor, which at the current point they cannot. Yeah, they give it flying. They don't attack. Oh, geez. Okay, that's fun. Anyway, they don't attack. And now they are out of reach of Galvanic Blast. If I attack, they just block, and I'm forced to sacrifice Welding Jar. And I do nothing, and they just sit and wait. Because eventually they will be able to put these... Oops. That was another Ethereal Armor, unless that was that one. I'm not quite sure. I guess I wasn't keeping track as well as I could have. I assume at this point they're counting out to see if I have lethal, which, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do not. Unless I am able to drop a singleton... an artifact that costs 2 or less. Anything else is insufficient, and we will lose. I assume they are calculating the same odds. If we draw Blood Moon, it's bad. If we draw Whip Flare, it's bad. If we draw our other Thoughtseize, it's bad. So we have 5 cards that are straight up bad, plus 3 other Spires, so that's 8 bad cards, plus the 2 Masters, 10 cards. And they didn't attack, which is even worse. Well, I have not much choice but to play it. If I attack with Inkmoth Nexus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is not lethal. If they get any other enchantment, which they might or might not have a second ethereal armor, then I think, okay, phone, you need to shut up. Busy right now. Well, attacking is bad, so then it's just defending. So they did have another ethereal armor. Oh, goodness. So I need to block with a Ravager that is at least a 3/3. Okay. Do I block with Overseer as well? If I'm blocking with Overseer, it's just to block. So I think it's better to simply... Oh, it is flying. Gross. Which means I have to sacrifice the Ravager onto the Ornithopter to not die. Great. Which means I can't win next turn. I don't think. Because I have to sacrifice one other artifact as well. And these counters are just going towards nothing. Yeah, I failed to notice that Dryad Arbor had flying. Or failed to remember. I knew because of blocking. Thought, oh, I'll just, you know, sacrifice Ravager to it. Okay, so now I don't think there's much point in regenerating, so we just block and die and don't have enough on the crackback, I think. I'm pretty sure there's not even enough. I probably should have sacrificed Jar instead of Drum, because that cuts me out of a mana. Not that it matters too much, because here we are, we activate We equip. And we activate, and we're still one shy. You say, hey, look at me, I got you there. And then we just concede because we lost. That is an unfortunate start. Well, carrying on. Maybe I need to put in a little more sideboard tech against Bogles. I've been facing it quite a bit online. I guess quite a bit is relative. I've faced it 3 times now. But that is the greatest number of matches against a deck I've played. And my matchup's not very good. So if I try to improve it, maybe that's better. But then maybe I'm focusing too much on it. We'll see. Oh, I also forgot to do the whole dispatch swap in thing. So we're rolling with the same deck we had last league. Alright, thanks for watching.